I totally didn't almost forget to throw us back on the screen before the countdown finished.
We're professionals.
Just sitting here, the countdown finishes, just the ember-filled background, and it's just you and I talking. And like, wait, what's going on?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Black Tower Podcast. It's a Wheel of Time podcast. It's a new week, which means it's a new dose of taint. I am your Sorbonne Mahale, Josh, and a little bit more.
Yeah. Just a little bit more?
Just a wee bit more.
All I'm asking for is just a little respect. Just a little bit.
Hey, who the hell are you?
Hey, baby. Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy? And I am Andrew, your Bijan Mahale. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. I can... There we go. A little pop of the Voodoo Ranger. And a very, very nice mug. Oh, wait, we haven't talked about that yet.
Wrong show.
No, it's kind of the right show.
It's kind of the right show.
I mean, it's a spoiler for like 2 minutes from now, if that long. So, but anyway, like Josh said, welcome to the Black Tower Podcast. We talk about the Wheel of Time TV show, books, metaphysics, lies, truths, things we remember happening that turns out actually didn't happen, and all the things that did actually happen that we don't remember, and everybody else does and reminds us, hey guys, you don't remember the books as well as you think you do. And then we surprise ourselves by remembering the most random details at times.
And getting those random details wrong.
I mean, that's the most fun because it creates engagement in the comment section. So, but if you want to fact check us and see if we got anything right or wrong, and you don't happen to have what seems to be a photographic memory of not just the series, but also every interview ever conducted ever about the series, like Morshadi does, you can head on over to thegreatblight.com and use their fantastic wiki resources to help find answers to the questions we ask both you and ourselves. And I'm sure one of them will answer like the meaning of life or something like that. So go and check them out. And then also there's a fantastic list of content creators over there, YouTubers, podcasters, musicians, artists, trivia and games, all kinds of fantastic stuff. So go check out thegreatblight.com. Tell Nablus that we sent you, and also tell him like, hey, expand the wiki because we need more information. So, but with all that said and done, with the plugs out the way, we're going to go ahead and bring in our guest for this episode. You know him, you love him, and if you don't, you should. Say hello to Rob.
Officially, yes. Malkier's sexiest chef.
Oh, thank you. I thought cracking the can was the appropriate way to say
it.
Hello.
It is.
So,
It's an underappreciated spear form, actually.
It is an underappreciated spear form. You're quite right. Thank you for that lovely intro. My name, yes, is Rob. I am your Malkier Takls. I'm just going to go with that. I've made that up right now.
That works.
Mahale of the Seven Lakes.
Mahale of the Seven Lakes. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
We'll have to get
our Malkier outpost
tongue on that one and see if we can get a old tongue translation for that.
It's a name like that long.
Yeah, it would be like that Welsh town that's got like 67 letters in it.
Look,
yeah,
you don't have to exaggerate, okay? It might only be this long, and that's okay.
It's how you pronounce it that matters.
That's how many apostrophes. That's what matters. Rob, what do you do over at your place? What do you do?
What do I do? I do a little bit of everything, guys. I get around.
You do.
Yeah, so the main thing I do, folks, I have a YouTube channel. I do a weekly like Aiel variety show with three lovely co-hosts, Melindra, Bane and Shead, and Mistress Leia. And I love this to find you guys measuring. Yeah, I love that. That's a great comment.
Thank you, YouTube user.
Yes. So that's every Thursday. Every Thursday we have a lot of fun doing that. In between that, sometimes I release videos about news or cooking or all other bits and pieces. Have some fun on YouTube. I do a podcast for fun. That's how I started back in the day. And I am also the person responsible for Water Holiday, along with Andrew and Cheyenne. And now I have also put together what seems to be like we're filling the longing. Kev Angus and I have got together, and we are doing the KCI or KCR. I can't know how to pronounce it. Glory to the Stars streams. So every month we take a different star TV show and do a focus on their scenes and have people in, and we stream for like 8 hours and just have some fun talking about, the TV show and the people in it. And we did Elaine because that's Kev's love, and Amazon were kind enough to give us a behind the scenes photo from filming, which was really, really cool. So
Nice.
And then we put that out on Twitter and Instagram, and people started analyzing it and think that it means, they can't, the image, they Google search the image of Rafe's hat and they can't find it anywhere. And they're like, oh, so this must mean like this got spokes on it in season 3 and 4 and blah, blah.
I saw that.
They were doing theory stuff. So yeah, it was really, really cool.
But it's fun. It gives us something to do during the longing.
Exactly. That's the idea behind it. We fill the longing. We celebrate the stars of the TV show. We celebrate the show. Yeah. Thank you there. It was a lot of fun. So I do that. And I am also responsible, scarily enough, for Europe's only Wheel of Time convention, Malkier, which happens every September. We will be in our 3rd year this year, and this year we've moved to Prague.
I'm so want to go. So
that's a long list of things I do. Jesus.
Yeah, dude, we're like 55 minutes into the episode. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks,
folks.
It's
really just a commercial
it's funny,
for Rob.
Because as you started and got around, you went from just doing the like weekly or bi-weekly food videos.
Oh, that's right.
I did, yeah. That was how I started, yeah.
Chef. And then like your repertoire of stuff just kept growing and growing and growing. And then I know you got busy and you're like, I don't have time to do all this. I got to pare down some.
I did. I pared a lot down, yeah.
So we tightened the strings on the proverbial girdle there. And now it's loosening a little bit again.
It's but it's not like weekly stuff. It's more like monthly or like annual stuff. So yeah,
Look, 2 geeks, I'm gonna need you to shut your whore mouth. All right.
You see, the fun thing is we've definitely talked about like doing a bunch of like extra stuff and doing different things, and then about 25% of the time the problem is timing and scheduling, and about 75% of the rest of the issue is actually just getting off our ass and doing it. So
yeah, if I can give anyone a tip who's ever like, Jesus, I wish I could do more, just dive in and do it. You'll probably make a million mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. If you watch any of my stuff, it's always like, that went wrong. Oh, that went wrong. Oh, there's 9 things went wrong all in a row. But you learn from them, you have fun with them, and you make it part of what you're doing.
It's true.
Or at least I do. And hopefully you get somewhere. But have fun doing it. So if I give anyone advice on that. Not that I usually do, but yeah.
Fantastic advice.
It's been fun watching you grow.
I'm still. I promise you, I can't. It's not on camera, but I promise you, it's sadly, it's still growing. I need it to stop growing. Okay, but I can't. Right. I can't gym it up at the moment. I got fucked ankles. So, yeah.
You're preaching to the Nakomi choir over here, man.
Yeah. So I will say this: we've got an exciting subject for you tonight to help jump in and discuss. And I didn't think about it until just now. I do want to give you the option though of backing out, because I know you're the token wetlander in the Threefold Talk. You've got a lot of Aiel people over there, and we're going to discuss the subject of the Aiel. And I don't want any of your teachers like having toe to the rest of the Aiel, and I don't want any of them getting mad at you for not understanding them.
They get mad at me all the time. It's totally fine.
Okay, cool. Okay, just so long as you're there.
That's part of being a wetlander, right? Is making the Aiel mad at us.
That's
like,
true.
I mean, we didn't do a spoiler warning yet, but full book spoilers. Yeah. We're gonna go with this one.
Do you want to play one?
Yeah, I'll play it in a second. Once I broke out. But in the books, when we have all the wetlanders that are trying to mimic Giotto, like the Aiel think they're actually doing it seriously. Like, no, it's just our tendency to be like kind of dickish pranksters, and it's just a big goof to just see like how riled up we can make them. Like, I know somebody. They're pretty popular. I don't actually know them. They're really big YouTubers, like millions of followers scale because they've been doing this for like 15 years. Where they never watch each other's videos, and one of them has the other convinced that they absolutely love and believe everything Alex Jones says, and so he keeps like preaching everything he says occasionally, like when the clip comes up or they're talking about it, just to see how annoyed he can make the other person. And
Wow.
I'm here for the trolling, man.
That's I was about to say that's quite a gimmick. I dig it.
Yeah. Well, they've been doing it for like years. It's hilarious. It's Nogla and Terrorizer, if anybody knows who those guys are.
I do not.
Nice.
I would say, that's free promo for them, but
they don't need it.
You look at us at 1.5K and look at them at like, 3.9 to.
And who's winning?
Million.
We are. Let's
absolutely. Because we get to talk about the Wheel of Time. They got to do these weird things like react and play video games. Losers.
It's weird.
People play video games, man.
Fuck those guys.
Fuck those guys.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah. Which spoiler one did I have for today? Was it the sexy one? I think it was the sexy one. Yeah, it's the sexy one. All right. Yeah,
I love.
Or one of the sexy ones. We have many sexy.
If you say it's the sexy one and Gilbert Gottfried starts screaming at me, I'm gonna have questions.
Oh my god, yeah, that's not sexy.
I mean, would that be wrong? Like, it could be sexy in like the right stupery mood. Here you go. Here's the actual
reading.
It's very late, guys. I might have to go to bed. I'm gonna.
All right. Here's the actual spoiler warning, courtesy of one of the fantastic thespians. Is that the right word? Over at North Harbor Podcast.
Yes.
That's the word I'm going to use. It might be wrong, but that's what I'm going to use.
It's probably.
This is your official spoiler warning. This episode contains spoilers for all 14 books and the prequel. If you're still listening and you haven't read all these, you want to be spoiled, don't you? You crave it. Getting spoiled without putting in the work? Well, get ready. Here it comes.
For those of you who don't know,
that's
Lorna Sedai, one of the three absolutely spectacular women from the North Harbor Podcast. Beautiful on the inside and on the out. And thank you for that. Delightful spoiler warning. Spoil me, mommy. Spoil me harder.
So,
oh my god.
Episode topic for today, Josh. Yeah, I'll go with it because you're semi-broken right now.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Heyo!
Like a Kardashian sex tape coming back. Still one of the best Chris Pratt jokes ever.
I was just gonna say, like the Parks and Rec blooper where he's like, Kardashian story. What? Well, I think she gets her come on her back on that one. They all just. Tonight's topic. It's kind of a theory episode, but it's also kind of rooted in the books here. And I'll give a little bit of flavor for those of you who want to follow along. The Band of the Red Hand. Matt assigns different people to be sort of a security force for the band. These are your law enforcers. The law enforcers get a bonus, and if people are acting out of line, that cuts into their bonus, which incentivizes them to act. Well, how are you supposed to know who these people are? Well, Matt devises this brilliant system of tying a red band on their arm, and they become,
red arms.
And the red arms.
Yes, the red.
And so the red arms then become easily distinguishable. And so, where you've got a system where people rotate in and out of that position, you don't know who's in that position. Now you've got a visual indicator of, hi, that person's a red arm. If they tell me to stop, I have two choices: stop or get fucked up. Like, I mean, it's kind
U.S.
of it,
Air
right?
Force still does
simple.
this. Still does that to this day. Not the fucking up part, because we don't think that much combatives. Now, if they got a taser or OC spray, that's a different story. Or if you cross the red line, even by a sliver, that's a different story.
Don't cross the red line.
You know,
don't ever do it.
Air Force military police wear a dark navy blue beret to distinguish us from that. Unless we're on the flight line, then we don't wear it. And then I don't know, full plate carrier and rifle kind of give us away. But
usually. But there is another group of people in the Wheel of Time who employ a similar tactic. They employ a similar sort of a visual indicator to tell people where they are from. And in this particular case, I'm referring to the Aiel. Now, you've got the Aiel that, from a wetlander perspective, you look out, you see Aiel, and you see, yes, there is an Aielman, and he is wearing brown. And if he's mad at you, he's going to veil his face and kill you. But then the Aiel are like, yeah, that one's a Cloud Walker, that one's a Thunder Shield, that one's a Stone Dog, that one's and everybody else is like, how the hell do you know that? Like, I'm looking
now is the guy from Forged in Fire, like an Aiel, like walks out from behind a rock and he just stares at him. They veil and he's just like, it will kill.
It will kill. That's a meme. We're gonna make that meme. No, but like, essentially it boils down to they're all wearing a brown ghillie suit. But there are references in the story about how the different pieces of clothing are cut or shaped in an effort to identify the types, the origins of the different Aiel. And so what I was kind of hoping to chew on tonight is, what kinds of things would they have that would be easily discernible to them, but not so easily discernible to us? Like I said, the red armband, like, that's easy for us to see. But if you did that to an Aiel will be like, what? You let everybody see me for like 20 miles? Absolutely not. So like, what kinds of things could an Aiel do? If I was a stone dog and I wanted to make sure everybody knew I was a stone dog, and I'm like founding the stone dogs, what would I have in my ghillie suit, my Aiel ghillie suit, that would differentiate me from anybody else in the Aiel nations?
I'm gonna call it now that the Taardad Aiel, Avienda's clan, they definitely have like stonewashed jeans, but they have like stonewashed like trousers because they're from Cold Rock's Hold. Like the punk rock of the Aiel.
Yeah,
I love it.
Okay.
It's more of a joke, but it actually could be a thing, I guess.
I mean, it could be a thing, yeah. I think it starts with stitching.
Okay.
I think it starts with like single line stitching, double line stitching, big gaps between the stitches, really tight stitching, things like that. I think that's like the first thing to look at, like how things are stitched together. Because we're talking about like minute details here that the eye are going to pick up that from a distance you ain't going to notice, but as soon as you get there, you can see them properly because you're going to be on top of Aiel before you see them, even at Aiel, and they're going to notice and see this sort of stuff. I think stitching's the first place to start. I don't know.
So go ahead.
But so do you think, like, because resources, even though like the Aiel are well adapted to the Aiel waste, or the threefold land, resources are still pretty scarce. So would it be potentially like a statement of like a clan or seps or even a society's like prosperity within like their hold if they wore cotton sword that used more material? Like it had more intricate stitching or more sturdy or more lines of stitching showing that like they had plenty of thread to use for it, that they weren't hurting for it, so they can use extra in all of their clothing because they are a strong and mighty clan, that has won many battles.
Do you know what? That actually, you're saying that, and that actually kind of gives me a thought here. Like both of you, kind of where you're going with this. Like Rob, I love what you're talking about with the stitching, and Andrew, where you're talking about like the different patterning. And when I think of cultures that had patterning in their fabrics to help identify families and clans and things like that. I mean, obviously we go to Scotland, right? And you've got the tartan and you've got
Yeah.
the different families that had different patterns in there. You can even go down into sort of the Muslim, ancient Muslims and those kinds of things. Now, the patterning, I don't think necessarily had anything to do with like family or things, but I would believe that there were different regions known for different patterns and different kinds of intricate patterns. And if you start talking about, well, stone dogs have a pattern, that then becomes something that is easily recognizable to someone who's raised around it their entire lives, right? I know to look for a series of X's on the front portion of the cotton sword somewhere.
Yeah, or
I
like
know to look for. Yeah, go ahead.
a double line of stitch like across the knees or something. That is, it just sit like in a particular place. Here's an extra line of stitching for no purpose, and it's just like that doesn't stand out to anyone. It just looks like stitching, but it's just above the elbow, or at the end of the cuffs in three lines of stitching at the end of the cuffs. Well, that's a stone dog, that's a thunderwalker, that's a red eyes, that's whatever it might be. And it becomes something really, really simple that a stupid wetlander is not going to pick up on, but the Aiel, like you say, pattern recognition.
I like that too, because it falls in line with what Andrew was saying with resources are limited. We don't have the ability to like put out this big lace pattern cotton sword,
Yeah. Well, think about too, like the multitude of combinations, right? You have 13 different at least in book one, or around the book one time frame. There are 13 different active Aiel clans. And each Aiel clan has anywhere between 2 and 10 seps in that clan, depending on the clan size. With the Taradon clan, Avienda's clan having 10 seps, and then I think like the Shians and the Reen and the Brain only have like 2. And then you mix into that all the different societies, like the Red Shields and the Maidens of the Spear and the Water Seekers and the Stone Dogs and everything, because like the different cut and design of the Cotton Sword denotes all of these differences. So a stone dog from one sept of one clan is going to have a different cut and stitching pattern than a stone dog from a different sept of the same clan, and even more different from a stone dog of a different clan. So that's too much math for me. I am not good at math, but that is
well, you would
massive
need something that identifies the clan, something that identifies the sept, and then something that identifies the society, except for the Maidens of the Spear. Because if you see, a female fighter, you're like,
they've got a pretty definitive,
that's a
identifying feature.
Yeah.
I mean, so do you think it's like an intentional difference, or do you think it's just something where like the clans all learn to do this different ways, and then the seps all have done it different ways based on available resources, and then each of the societies in the seps have kind of like their own way of doing it based that's like related to like their specialty or their skill or their trade? Or do you think it was intentional?
I would say that the clans probably go like a way of like either a type of material or the way they cut their material. Would say would do for the clans, because then you look what sort of resources do they have, and then the seps within would be like, well, you know, the way they put it together. So, you know, Stone Dogs are stupid, so you know they put it together like that, and then like do an overstitch or something like that. So because you know Stone Dogs are stupid.
They waste fabric
then,
by overlapping it too much or something like that.
yeah, something like that. And then to actually like show their Stone Dogs, then it would be like, you know, the type of stitching or something. I don't know. I think, yeah, it would be 3 different things. You wouldn't have like, you know, this type of stitching means you're a Stone Dog, but then if you had this stitching as well, you'd also be this sept. Like I think they would have to have like materials cut and the way the cloth's put together, and then type of stitching. You know, there would be a different thing for each one.
Yeah.
So you could have, you know, different cuts of cloth, but with the same stitching. You'd be like, okay, well, you might be a different set, but I know you're a Stone Dog.
Yeah, I would agree that it would be like separate subtle things about the dress, but more so, I guess what I was getting at was, would it be something like, because I am this clan, this sept, this society, this is how I must have my clothing made? Or do you think it would be more like only the Stone Dogs of this sept of the Tardod Aiel do their clothing this way, where it's become like a kind of like traditional thing now as we're reading it in the books because they've done it this way for so long, but it was initially born out of like that was the only group that happened to cut their clothing this way, put it together this way, wear it in this specific arrangement of layering or whatever the difference is.
I think because the first time you come across other members of your society but from a different clan might be in battle, you know, and while you might be like, oh, okay, well, they've done this, this, and this as their combination, you know, you might not really recognize that until you're in battle. Whereas if you're in your clan and you're like, this is what makes us that shows, you know, if you in battle and you see someone else with this particular type of stitching in this particular place, they're the same society as us. Don't fight them, even if they're a different clan. You know, that's far quicker and easier to identify because you've seen that physically. You wear it yourself. I think there has to be one thing that be like, oh, all Stone Dogs do this type of stitching, or wear this particular cloth, or have, you know, this type of spear. Maybe it's weapons, you know, like the spear is this length with this tassel on the end or something like that. That makes a Stone Dog. Right. All Stone Dogs have this. There has to be one thing that's recognizable across all of them, because otherwise you're going to have hundreds of different combinations of things. Be like, and I know that Aiel are great at memorizing things. At the end of the day, they're like, you know, my great mother's this can give me toe because I did that, and I didn't, you know, say hello and end up being, you know, guy shine to my aunt for, you know, 6 million years because I, you know, coughed at my uncle's second niece twice removed. You know, bizarre things like that. I know they have great memory, but if you combine, you know, the different clans, seps, and then societies, the amount of combinations of things you could have if it was like, well, Stone Dog is this, this, and this is that particular clan society, clan and sept, sorry, and then a Stone Dog here is this, this, and there's too many combinations of things to memorize, even for Aiel, I think.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like if we're gonna boil it down, you know, you've got to have 3 different sort of, I don't want to say, you know, for lack of a better word, you know, universal trademarks.
Yes.
Right? If you've got one trademark somewhere in your Codensor that's going to say, I am of this clan. You've got another trademark somewhere in your Codensor that says, I am of this sept. And then you got another one that says, I am of this society. And, you know, just kind of picking on Stone Dogs because that's kind of the one where we keep kind of gravitating towards. But
it's the fun one, isn't it? You know?
I agree with what you're saying there. I feel like it doesn't matter what clan or sept. A Stone Dog is going to have like the trademark. Like, let's just say that a Stone Dog trademark is they've got a circle stitched on their forearm. Cool. Every Stone Dog, regardless of clan or sept, is going to have that single circle stitched on their forearm. Every single stone dog. Because as you were saying, Rob, earlier, is, when you're in a battle with someone, you're not necessarily going to say, haha, that's a thunder shield. Haha, that's a, you're just going to be fighting another clan or another sept or whatever. And you're going to be going, okay, cool. But which Aiel societies are foreign to wetlanders such as us anyway. But it's I think it's an interesting thing. So like to me, I like the idea that there's stitching involved. I feel like one of them would be a stitch, a pattern stitch of some kind. Like you were saying, an extra stitch around the elbow, an extra stitch across the knees. But I also feel like there would have to be at some point in time, like a piece of fabric somewhere that's just kind of sewn into it. And maybe it's just maybe it's the same color as everything else, but it's an extra slash of fabric that just goes across the chest right here. Doesn't serve any purpose. It's completely and totally just there to show, hi, I'm of the Tardad Aiel.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That would be the purpose it serves. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like Ilianas have, the Iliana beards. Kandori have the hair in braids. Like,
yes,
the Kandori will be from many places in Kandor, and they'll have different weapons and different style of armor as a result. But they're from Kandor because they have the braids. There needs to be that one thing, and I think fabric stitching could be one, fabric would be another, and then that's why I think like materials for clan. So different. Enough differences, if you're raised Aiel, then obviously you're going to know differences in materials. Materials for clans, extra cloth for pieces of material for sept, and then something like stitch, or the other way around. It could be stitching for sept and then materials for society or whatever. But there needs to be three different things, I think.
Yeah,
I do think that
you actually bring up ultimately y'all are with. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Well, I was just going to say, I do think you bring up a good point with the hairdos as well, because in the books, what do we know about Maidens of the Spear? They've got short cropped hair and they got the little, the little rat tail thing going on in the back.
Yes. Which I'm glad they got rid of for the TV show.
I mean, yeah. And just because I like to throw shade, like I'm all for constructive criticism of the TV show. I am. I love it. If you can come in, you can bring receipts and you can be like, this was bad. Okay, cool. Great. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. But if you just come in and start, okay, shut up. Go away. If you come in and you say, I don't like that Avienda is a different color. Okay, great. Awesome. Wonderful. But why is nobody complaining about her hair? Why is nobody deeply offended that all of the Maidens of the Spear in the show do not have a bob short crop haircut with a rat tail? Huh? Because book accuracy.
Yeah, maybe we should be looking at a picture of Bay and Shit and Avienda and see if we can see any big differences between their outfits.
Oh my god!
Because they're all the same society, but they're not the same clan.
There you go, Josh. If you want to
pulling it up right now,
find a picture and upload it, and we can change the view for that. But no, I think you're both absolutely right. If nothing else, the societies probably have a kind of universal marking they use. But the Aiel, and I know it's a lot of people's favorite culture, but for me, like I still love the idea that these warrior factions that are a massive part of their training, that makes it so critical so that they don't fight other members of their same society, is that they have to learn to distinguish between like hundreds of different combinations of cat and sword kind of designs and layout kind of things. If nothing else, like, because you could get away with a lot. I mean, if you're a stone dog for the Tard on Dod Aiel, then all you might need to know is the stone dog difference or identifier, and then the Tarod which I'm gonna say like the clan name like 17 different ways, by the way.
That's
'Cause I don't want to say I don't want to sit here and be like, typical Southern NASCAR fan and be like the Tar Dad.
Tar Dad
Oh,
Aiel.
Oh, there's a picture. Yeah, let me save that. Thanks, Wine. You are a saint.
I'm pulling it up
where
right
is it?
now. God.
I've
I already
also
got
just
it.
went and found a picture for myself to look at.
Oh,
And I
we're
think
about-
I can already see a difference between Avienda and Bane, and maybe even Chiad a little bit, to be honest.
I think it's this screen. And oh nope, I put it in the wrong section. Did I put it in the wrong section? It shouldn't be in this section. Hold on. I can do it this way. I can figure it out as
Oh,
Josh is
I got
already
that
doing
one.
it. Yeah, that's what
There
I was
we
about to do. You're gonna have
Okay,
to
so-
zoom in on that.
We're gonna zoom in.
And I'm gonna send you this other one as well.
Let's go.
So
Grabbed
I'm
another
seeing
one.
things like
There you go. I sent you another
Uh,
one, Josh.
Okay.
The one that Wine put in the Discord.
so obviously like Avienda doesn't have that shield for a start, so maybe that's part of it. Like we mentioned spears earlier, those shields seem to possibly be one.
Or the bucklers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, Rob, it's a buckler. Are you even a fan of the Wheel of Time?
No.
Oh.
Is that what the little shield is called? It's called a buckler.
Yeah, when they're that small, they're bucklers because they're made to be agile and deflective rather than blocking.
Avienda.
Oh, okay.
Not only that, but if you notice here on the far left, we've got 3 leather bands on the forearm, and Avienda only has 1. And then we've only got, let's see, right here.
I think
You got
that's
1,
because that's
2,
Bane's bracer
3.
for
Yeah.
her bow. Avi doesn't carry a bow, and I don't think Chiad does either.
Leia's saying that they wrap their shufas slightly differently. Let's
Yeah.
get a better. Hold on, just one second.
So I also have.
Bam. Here we go. This one's a little bit higher resolution as well.
Oh
So-
yeah, So the shufas are different here. If you look, even just the color of that material. So look, Bane on the left there, hers has got quite, like that. That's like the cross on that. The cross on the stitching
Yeah.
is quite prominent. But then in Chiad in the middle, there's almost like a fluffy quality to it. You
Yeah.
don't have that prominent ridge. And then if you go across to Avi's, that's much paler, and kind of sits in between the fluffy and the ridge. So different shufa just for a start there.
Yeah. Avienda's is also covered in blood. I don't know if that is pertinent to the story here.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
No offense to Bane and Chiad, but I gotta say, only one person in this picture is the one true Bane. So
Oh my God, Andrew, you're such a fanboy. Ugh.
I mean, her last name does rhyme with heart for a reason.
I'm trying to look for things that are similar between them, to be like maybe okay. So that's what makes them like.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there isn't something because the mains of the Spitfire Doris mine maybe don't need anything. But
the sleeve materials right here, you've got these little notchies.
yeah. Also,
but over here you have. Okay, but look at here. She's just got them laced up.
Yeah, so maybe again that's a thing. I'm looking. I've got a different angle, and I can see the boots on Avienda and on Chiad, and they have exactly the same boots. So potentially boots make a difference as well. And Matt Hatch would be killing himself right now, wouldn't he? He's obsessed with it.
There's also a difference in the way they carry their weaponry. You can't see it in this picture. The second picture that I sent you that Wine posted for us that also has Perrin and Hopper in it.
Oh,
you can see Bane and Chiad both carry their weapons so that they point over each shoulder. where Avienda carries them, so they only point over her right
Yes.
shoulder.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
she is only carrying spears, so it would be different if she had a bow, and it would be the same, but it would be like the inverse orientation of Yeah, there's the picture.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we've got but here's the other thing too. Look, Avienda has 3 spears on one
3.
side, no
Yeah.
bow. She's got 3 spears on the one side in the same fashion, but different side with
Yep.
a bow. And
I
a
mean,
quiver
that
on the
might
other
might
side.
come down to her
Dominant hand or something.
dominant hand or something. Can we look down at their boots perhaps for a second? Is it the matching boots? All 3 have matching boots, so maybe boots come into this. We
Maybe
haven't
they
seen
do.
we haven't seen the guys yet, but Aiel, but boots could be a potential thing. That would be an easy signifier, wouldn't it? Make the boots the same way.
Yeah, Matt. Come on.
Yeah, Matt.
Oh wait, you retired.
Move up just a little bit. Still stay zoomed in, because. Okay, never mind. I was thinking that maybe Bane and Chiad wore. I mean, they both wear their buckler on their right side, and I was thinking maybe they both wore the dagger on the right side, but they don't. One does and the other doesn't.
Yeah.
So the sleeves are very different here in these pictures, aren't they?
Yeah. So, but I wonder if it's just that she's got hers laced up.
Oh, but now we
None
say
of
this,
these are
aren't
laced
Bane,
up.
Chiad, and Avienda, they're all different seps or different clans?
That's a good question.
Well, I'll go searching for that.
Someone who's a professional would have looked that up in the beginning of this episode before starting.
Okay.
To record. Yeah.
So
They're different. They're different clans. Chiad is of the Goshin Aiel of the Stone River
So,
Sept.
Chiad is Goshin.
And
I mean, I'm even
Bane
looking
is,
at
Sharad Aiel of the Black Rock Sept.
Right.
So I'm even looking at like these.
So yeah, all 3 are technically of different clans of different septs. The only unifying factor is the society.
So the only thing we find in common currently is the boots. There's differences in sleeve work, the braces, the shufa, like the I don't know, gents, help me out here. What their chest armor?
Those
it's called.
Boots weren't made for walking. They were made for walking, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
because you can see in this shot, Avienda and I'm so bad with telling Bane and Chiad apart. The one in the middle,
that's Bane.
Yeah, so Avienda and Bane's
Ruggers like my hardcore new
hue.
crush. So
okay, right though, same.
I can't get over it. I don't even know how it happened. It just snuck out of nowhere. I'm just like,
just one day you were like, oh, Wheel of Time cast member, and then she was like, oh, by the way, I'm going to just be incredibly attractive all the time. And you're like,
you can see in this shot, other than the shufa, Avienda and Bane's clothing is the same color materials, the same hue.
Yeah.
Only their shufa is a different, slightly different color material. And Chiad's material looks like it's all made from the same material, including the shufa that Bane's is made.
Well, and look, you've got little.
Maybe that's why Avienda is looking at them like, wow, do you not wash your shufa? Why is it so...
Dost thou even wash thine shufa? No,
maybe Chiad is actually more adapted to the Westlands, so she's got the darker brown where there's more moisture. Maybe. And Avienda,
because it does talk about them changing. It does talk about them changing their cut and soar as they go into the wetlands, especially with winter, especially with going through forests. But the interesting thing is,
imagine being an Aiel and having to figure out like winter camo.
You'd have to still figure out how to have the same discerning mark. And I'm going back to the stitching. Okay. Over here.
Yeah, because we have actually now we've
said
this. We haven't looked at stitching, have we? So yeah. Okay, squares on
squares.
Enhance.
We got stripes. So what if it's this apron type cloth, is an indicator because look, you've got these squares here, you've got these stripes here,
Right. Yeah.
and
I do see that.
Avienda has a completely different weave pattern over here. And that is something you could do as an Aiel with the same amount of fabric, the same kind of fabric that would be accessible to everyone. But when you put it on the loom or whatever apparatus you're using to weave that fabric, you use a different pattern.
You know, I'm not
And
gonna
you could
lie.
do that. You could do that weaving any fabric.
I'm a massive fan of Chiad's thigh holster.
It's a very cool. I mean, just all their outfits are fucking awesome. So,
Like I love thigh holsters. I mean, I've
Yeah.
never carried a knife in a thigh holster, but
You know who
Now-
did carry a knife in a thigh holster besides Chiad? Crocodile Dundee. He did it.
fair enough.
do you
Hey,
know
look
what
at that,
I'm
I can
looking
just-
for now? I'm trying to hunt down the image of that dead Aiel from season 1 to see if he was
Oh,
wearing
'cause-
what sort of boots he was wearing.
And that's a stone dog.
Oh,
Do you see?
yeah, that's a stone
zoom
dog.
in
Yeah.
on Bane's shufa, right where it's tied.
Oh yeah.
right in the center. That almost looks like a bird, like the
That
way
does.
it's tied.
Or is it leather? Like a couple of leather straps. That was one of the
I
impressions
actually think
got.
it's her Heron Mark shufa. So
I'm trying to type TV show and I almost typed Shufa. That was entertaining.
you're welcome.
I will say this too. I am happy that her bow is unstrung. Because that is one thing that irritated me about the show is that Rand and Perrin and Matt, they're all running around with their bows and they're always strung. And I was just like,
Yeah, it does get a smidge difficult to keep that in
minor
good
detail.
condition.
Minor detail.
If you keep it strung all the time.
I will
Okay,
say this,
so
Avienda does have a forearm guard for a bow though.
yeah, that's true.
If
I was trying to remember what, like,
her draw hand.
what that piece of armor is actually called. It's not quite gauntlet because gauntlet includes greaves. That's what it's called, greaves.
Greaves, yeah.
Ooh.
So
Oh.
Chiad has 0 greaves. Bane has internalized greaves, like inside facing, inner forearm facing greaves on both.
Uh-huh.
And Avienda, who maybe Bane is like ambidextrous with the bow,
It's
and
very possible.
Avienda's not. So that's why Bane has like those kind of protectors on both forearms, and Avienda's just, you know,
I'm about to
that would be right hand dominant. So
wine is on fire right now. I'm about to
well, you should put it
Share
out
it.
because alcohol fires are very dangerous.
that is
Mhm.
true. No, not that one.
If you would like to, as we're talking about stuff, send us pictures and stuff to use. Make sure you join our Discord. Go to blacktowerpod.com.
Yep.
Join our Discord, and then join the Patreon if you want to do it live, or you can just randomly send us pictures and hope that it makes it into an episode.
Okay, hold on just one second.
I'm trying to figure out which episode had the dead Aiel in it.
Wasn't
There
that
we go.
4?
Now here's
Oh no,
here's,
it's episode 3. It's episode 3. I'm
here's
I'm on my way.
this.
Oh,
Tigraine.
right.
Yeah.
Tigraine.
I'm
Oh, yeah,
noticing
that's-
something though. What does she have? She's got the same, what appears to be the same bit of chest armor that Avienda does.
Oh, another thing about Shail, she's like Chiad with the spears pointing like an X over her shoulder.
Yes.
So is that that could possibly be a clan thing? I mean, it might be a weapon, just comfort thing. What works best
What-
for them?
What was Shail from? Is she from the same place as Chiad?
I honestly cannot remember off the top of my head. I'm still trying to search for this dead Aiel.
I've got the picture right here. I
Yeah,
need to
well,
take,
she
I need to
was-
take
she
this
was,
picture of me out of here.
So Tigraine was Tardad Aiel, just like Avienda. She was from the
Ah.
Shumai Sept.
The Shumai set. Okay.
Shumai, yeah. You see, like hanging around all these Aiel has done wonders for you for pronunciation, and I appreciate it because it helps me. Well, and I'm just happy for your own success and growth.
I got to get it right occasionally, haven't I? So
All right, here we go. Let's see.
Even
if
a
we can
wetlander
get-
gets it right once a year.
Yep.
There we go.
You see, now I found that shot, but I'm actually watching the episode to see if I can get a better shot.
Yeah,
Because
this
that
one's-
is.
Also, I probably should have said gruesome warning because that's now that we're like just looking at it, it's kind of gruesome.
I mean,
It is a little gruesome. Dead guy in a cage with 3 hours in him. So 4.
But
Sorry,
I'm not
4 hours.
seeing. Again, I'm not seeing a. And again, this is the first male Aiel that we're even looking at. So
This is the only male Aiel
yeah.
we get
Yeah.
to look at.
Still got the
Okay.
same kind of light colored material that his shufa and the main part of the cat and sword is made of.
Yeah.
But he's got a stomach to neck leather breastplate
He
Yeah.
does, yeah. It
or
goes
chest piece.
chest piece, yeah.
So stone dog, because stone dogs can't protect their stomach. They're so clumsy.
Maybe.
I feel like that would be a shield rattling moment there.
Well, too bad they've only got bucklers to rattle.
Rum and rattle.
Yeah, that
As we say
there it
on
is.
Threefold.
There it is.
I'm not really getting a good picture here at the moment. I'm getting a lot of Tom and Matt talking. Also weird to see Barney, by the way, looking over at season
Hey,
1.
Barney. So I think a sort of final conclusion we can draw just from the material that we have,
Mhm.
because we have a total of 5 Aiel, right?
Right, yes.
We have a total of 5 Aiel. One of them is dead. Well, no, two
Two
of
of
them
them are dead. 2 of them are dead, yeah.
Well, without having a larger sample size, I don't know that we can definitively say that there is.
Do you have pictures of Bane, Chiat, and or Avienda veiled? Because one thing I'm noticing, Tigraine's veil is like separate under or like an internal piece to the shufa because it's
Yeah.
black fabric separate.
They also have
Yeah.
black fabric, as does the dead Aiel. You see, there it is. You can see the black fabric there for theirs.
So it's like sewn to the inside. Oh yeah, no, you're right. Okay. So it's like a neck gaiter underneath.
Yeah,
like-
I was just gonna
It
say
is.
it's almost
what
like a
do-
neck.
what do they
gaiter.
call Josh? What do they call the Middle East head wraps that they would issue to us before we would deploy?
Oh,
Oh, shamogs.
yes,
I think it was shamogs.
that sounds right. It sounds right.
Yeah, but it's like, oh god, imagine wearing a neck gaiter under your shamog in the desert during the day.
No, thank you.
So hot.
yeah,
Like,
I
not
imagine
the
that one would be
sexy
nice.
way. I mean, it looks good here, but not hot as in like losing 80% of my body weight in water through my neck kind of hot.
Yeah.
Lose a lot of heat in the neck.
All right. I've got. Now, do you know what? It's a little tough to tell because it's dark. Can we go back and get a boot picture of the girls?
Sure can.
I want to see.
Here, you know what? Here's another boot picture right here.
Yeah, that'll work.
It's a little
I
pixelated,
want to
but-
say there's some markings on his boots that are not on their boots. Almost like some like leather design. So I want to say, yeah, their boots are plain. Looking at that, can we try the other picture that's a bit higher resolution?
Yeah.
Yeah, their boots are they're plain,
They're-
especially on those
yeah.
large panels. Whereas I can
Yeah.
definitely it's all right. It's in well, I suppose lamplight, torchlight, whatever in this scene. But I mean, I can share the screen if you want to see the image.
Yes, please.
Once, make sure I get that one. So throw that up there. Can you see? Now, if I
Is it like right around the ankle? Like,
yeah, right around here. Well, if I move my mouse back off, it'll disappear with all the. Can you see? There's some like. Looks
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah, there's something there.
there is something there, and his boots, while they're similar, don't look exactly the same as the boots that we saw on the girls.
His look like the shin piece goes over the boot. Does it look the same for the girls? I'm going to switch back real quick.
Yeah,
Theirs looks like it's one piece.
And theirs has a stitching across the front. It doesn't seem to go.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to have stitching either.
But you see how like theirs, it seems like the actual calf part of the boot rises naturally from the fabric around the foot.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's just the lighting, but in this one, kind of right around where that almost shiny mark on the right hand front part of the ankle is, it almost looks like there's a V cut down above that.
Yeah.
Almost like the leather wraps around the calf or something and
yeah.
doesn't come up as seamly. It could just be the lighting, though.
Leia's made a good reminder in chat. Josh has seen it as well. Yeah.
Yep.
2 different costume designers, so there might not be consistency between the 2 seasons. But
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, there may not be consistency across, the descriptions.
and that's what I was just getting ready to say. There might not be consistency at all, just because I mean, for the TV show, for the TV show, you've got as Leia mentioned, 2 different costume designers from season 1 to season 2. And there's nothing that says that, and this isn't a diss, this isn't me just complaining, but that's a pretty fine detail. And where they've had to cut and trim a lot of fat, I find it difficult to believe
like fabric
that they went to the costume designer and said, hey, it's real important that the Goshin Aiel look like this and the Tardad Aiel look. So, I mean, we did just spend a lot of time doing some analyzing, and I'm happy we did that. I like doing that. Yeah. But there is a very good point to be made here with, maybe that just ain't it. Maybe they didn't do that in the show.
It is very possible.
But I think we're onto something there.
We'll see.
I like where we're at.
I think I'm stuck on Boots. I think Boots is the winner.
Boots
and I also hate to say that Matt Hatch. I also a little bit makes like, damn you, Matt Hatch for the Boots.
I really want to say though that they're it may be different because of 2 different costume designers, but I think we all can safely assume that they're not really doing much by accident on the show. I mean, like the only thing that I know for a fact was accidentally perfect was Kate Fleetwood, mispronouncing Nynaeve.
Yes.
Where she wasn't instructed to do that or didn't read and know to do that. She was like, oh, it feels like the right thing. And it's just like, yes.
You have no idea how perfect you are.
They put so much effort into not just making sure that Tyrion things or Tarian or whatever you want to call them from Tyr, Ilion. Illianer rankings were right on Tam's uniform for just Illianer military. They made sure it was right for Illianer military for Tam and the rank he was whenever he served. So looking at that and looking at the parts of Tigraine's cat and sword that are similar or are the same as Avienda's, I think they are putting that look into it, and you kind of have a get out of jail free card of sorts with Tigraine, where she's not born Aiel, so it would be reasonable that some of her stuff would still be different. To be like, hey, it's almost like an uncanny valley thing, like it's almost Aiel but not quite.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah. So, and obviously 2 different costume designers, like Leia has already said, does add some differences. But I
am a show apologist, so
yeah, I suppose I am as well. But I think do you know what? I really didn't think this conversation would end up going this way. I didn't think we'd have as much show conversation as we've ended up having. But I know I was all on the stitching thing at the beginning, but I think it, different details on Boots is where I think I finished up. But also I like where you pointed out the different weave and stitch on the veil, the shufa. Sorry, I think that was a big thing as well that you picked. It was Josh you picked that up, didn't you? Or was it?
No, it was Josh.
Yeah.
I just pointed out the hair and mark shufa. That was it.
Yeah, that's true. So there's probably something to do with certain bits of armor or whatever. But I think shufa and shufa and Boots, they're the 2 things I think do it.
All right. Oh, there you go. That's, not Not a bad
Field
theory there.
expedient. Oh,
Oh
that
yeah,
really
that's a
well.
good point for the snow cannon saw.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
imagine being super pregnant in labor, fighting and adapting your cotton sword
Yep.
to the snow
Shail's
climate.
goat, man.
Hey, but Tigraine had an advantage. She's from the Westland. She at least had
She would have
seen snow
recognized
before.
snow. Yeah, she would have
She
seen
was like,
snow
"Oh,
before
it's
it was winter.
snow." Imagine the rest of the Aiel. They're like, "Let's fight," and they're sitting there like around Dragon Mount.
Why
like,
is it slippery?
the hell is all
That's
this
what she
white
said.
stuff?
Yeah.
That's what she
Like,
said.
oh, it must be salt. And someone like goes to lick the ground, and they're just like,
My tongue is stuck to this rock.
just an Aiel Christmas story. I've heard of Cold Rock's Hold, but this is ridiculous.
But this
Yep.
is ridiculous.
I hope someone would get that's where I was going.
No, that's what happened. Somebody from this war, the Aiel War, got their tongue stuck to a rock on Dragon Mount, and they went back to found Cold Rock's Hold, and that's how it got the name. Has
There we
nothing
go.
to do
I
with
like
the
it.
actual area. It's all them
I
getting
like
their
it.
tongue stuck to a rock.
Yep.
Because that definitely sounds like an Aiel thing to do.
You know what?
So
I
good.
think she hates us because we got it right.
Yeah.
And the person that
nailed
did it
it.
was absolutely a stone dog.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah. Had to be a stone dog. Had to be a stone dog. So
Andrew, where do you stand on fit and cut? Like, how do you differentiate your Aiel in your mind?
Ones that hate me and ones that don't. If I don't see a veil, then we're good. I don't care where you're from. We're fine. As soon as that veil goes up above the lower chin mark, I'm fucking running. I'm good.
yeah.
I mean, solid
So,
advice.
You know, better than a Kirianan would think of Aiel, but you know, it's like a healthy respect mixed with a sudden onset of fear when the veil starts coming up.
I like it.
Yeah.
For me, for the different, clan sept society, I really like the idea of having the different fabric weaves for the different ones. It's something that is simply done. It's something that's practically done, and it's something that would be easily noticeable by someone else who knows to look for it, and something that the Wetlanders probably wouldn't really pick up on. And even if they did, oh yeah, well, you can tell that she's Goshin because she's got squares showing in her pattern. What? That okay, cool. Like it that makes a lot of sense for me.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am. I can tell by the squares on your shoe for you're not from around here. Are you perhaps
Nice.
lost?
Are you perhaps lost?
Do you know where you are?
Do you
I don't know
seek
what accent
refuge
that
under
is.
my roof?
Wow.
Yeah. No, but
The shield maidens are under the floorboards.
That still only leaves that's still only one defining factor, and there's two other ways that we need to define. So tell you what, for everybody listening right now, drop your comments below. Let us know what you think the defining factors of the different clan society sept. Just tell us what you think in the comments. Are we onto something here? Are we way off? Tell us what you think. Rob, one more time, tell everybody where they can find you.
Tell us your final thoughts first, Rob.
Oh, I
thought he did. My bad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm sticking with the boots and the weave on the shufa. That's what I'm sticking with.
Boots and pants and boots and pants.
Boots and shufa, boots and boots and shufa, boots and shufa. Yeah.
Boots and shufa, boots and
Boots and
shufa.
shufa, boots and yeah.
So you're going with the Matt Hatch route for the boots,
Yeah.
and the
sadly.
Matt Cawthon route for the hat.
Kind of, yeah. Which is
It's
which
the
is
Matt-
scary
Matt
because
and Matt.
it's the Matt bias all over again, isn't it? So
It is. It's the Matt bias.
but yeah.
Well done.
In regards to where people can find me and stuff, go to malkiertalks.com. I have a fancy website. That is where Josh got my face for tonight's thumbnail on the stream.
This is a true story.
And yeah, you can check out everything I do there. So MalkierCon is on there. You can get your tickets to that. Information about what a holiday is on there. Information about the YouTube channel is on there. The podcast is on there. Yeah, it's just all the good and all the good stuff there. All the fun stuff.
All the
Oh,
social
wow.
medias.
All
Go
the social
follow Rob.
medias. So,
You're one
All
of the busiest, multifaceted, incredibly talented Wheel of Time content creators that I know. What a holiday!
yes, Hugh comes with the wine, winning the books. I remember.
And our not just my friendship with you, but I think our show's friendship with you is definitely in the top one treasured, if not the top two treasured.
Oh,
We'll say top two treasured just to leave a little bit of mystique out there.
So the other 5 people you said that to can be like,
yeah.
Yeah. So because you've tolerated us for quite a long time.
that's true.
So
But you tolerate me as well, so you know it's a mutual toleration.
I
Well,
think
in
it's a
all
lot
fairness,
easier to
you
tolerate
did
you
buy
than
me
it
a
is to
beer that
tolerate
one
Josh.
time, so.
I mean us. But it's always an absolute treat and treasure to be able to have you on the show and get to chat with you. So
It's always fun talking to you guys as well. I love it.
maybe one of these days we'll make it out to Malkier Con.
I think that I need to make it to Gathering Madness, guys. Seriously, you know they're both so close together though. It's like
They are.
You know,
It's tough.
It's
hard.
6 weeks apart or something stupid. Like it's so.
You know what
so
we
close.
need? We need Amazon.
You'll have to do
give us some
Europe's
more shill money
only
so
Wheel
we
of
can
Time
afford these
convention.
things. God,
Sorry, I talked over Josh.
I was just gonna say we need Amazon to give us more shill money so we can afford these things. Gosh,
Yeah,
Because I'm not willing to sell a yacht for this, but
yeah. I can't sail my yacht to where you guys live to get to Gathering Madness. That's the problem. So they need to upgrade my yacht so I can put a helicopter on the back and then I can fly.
Thank you.
I can sail over and then fly to you guys. And that, come on.
You might could this year if we have it where we're thinking of having it. So,
Oh,
which is somewhere I think you've been to already for a different kind of quote unquote con
okay.
that isn't quite too hasty in the time frame.
Okay.
Where you got
What?
your street sign behind you.
Oh.
Oh, see, I was going with subtle hint, and Josh was like flashing neon sign.
You know, I have all the subtlety of a sledgehammer, sir.
Yeah, and that's why you're the storm leader, because you're flashy and you're loud, and nobody can ignore you.
That's right.
In the best
That's
of
right.
ways. So,
In the best of ways.
but go check out Rob. Make sure you subscribe to the Malkier Talks YouTube channel where you can catch everything Malkier Talks. You can catch 3 Full Talk. It's beyond worth listening to.
Yes.
Definitely go and
It's
check
so
it out.
cool.
And when you do show up, make sure that every time you show up, if Leia is there, make sure she remembers the Aiel Christmas story that gave Cold Rock's Hold its name every time. But for those of us here, safely on the other side of the Dragon Wall here at the Black Tower Podcast, I have been your Bajan Mahale, Andrew.
And I have been your Soravan Mahale, Josh. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, patrons. Thank you for everybody else who's listening. Remember, if you want to become a patron, it's as cheap as $1 a month, and it allows you to listen to our episodes live. It allows you to participate in Patreon exclusive chats in our Discord, and is also home to a slew of other wonderful benefits. Also, if you don't have money to support us, that's totally fine too. Guess what? Click the like button, click the subscribe button. Totally free way to support us. And by the way, I will leave you with a little bit of trivia. The kid from A Christmas Story who got his tongue stuck to the pole did not actually get his tongue stuck to the pole. That is not what happened. They actually had a small hole drilled in the pole with like a vacuum on it. So when he stuck his tongue to it, it was just a vacuum holding his tongue there. So no flicks were harmed in the filming of that movie. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for listening, watching along. You guys are the best. You're awesome. Thank you for tuning in for this week's dose of taint. And wherever you are out there, we hope you leave here just a little bit more insane than you were when you first got here. Thank you.